You've made it to the final video in my video series on camera basics. In this video, we're going to talk about editing, which is often referred to as post-production. We're also going to talk about storage solutions for all the shiny new content that you're filming. Nowadays, you can edit on all your favorite social media platforms. Instagram and TikTok editing is great for phone videos, but not as user-friendly for professional grade footage. Instead, you want to learn how to use one of the following 3 editing softwares. The 3 main editing platforms are Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and DaVinci Resolve. Others exist, but these are the 3 most used, and the reason this is important is because in future you may need to send your editing timeline to another editor, and it makes it much easier if you're using the same editing software. Also, if you're ever looking for an editing job, companies will often require that you're proficient in at least one of these softwares, so let's break them down. Premiere Pro is part of the Adobe world. It's subscription-based, meaning you pay a monthly fee to use this program, but you can get it in a bundle, for example, with Lightroom for photo editing, which can be beneficial. Premiere Pro users are loyal to this software, but there is some discourse online about the ever-increasing subscription fee to use it. In Australia, it's $420 per year. Hello, this is Later Me, just filming this B-roll, which is actually 720 Australian dollars per year. I am too stunned to speak. Now, this is definitely on the expensive side, especially when you're starting out and you might not have any clients for a while, but it's arguably the most popular editing software. Final Cut Pro is an Apple Mac product, and it's the editing software that I use. When I started editing videos in the early 2000s, iMovie was all that was available to me. So after using that for many years, it felt like the natural transition to move to the much more sophisticated older sibling, Final Cut Pro. Users find Final Cut Pro to be very user-friendly, and honestly, when I first opened it, I found it a lot less daunting than like Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve. In terms of cost, Final Cut is a one-time purchase of 500 Australian dollars, and Apple is about to release a subscription-based option as well. Final Cut is a Mac-only product though, so you can't run this on anything other than an Apple computer. DaVinci Resolve is another industry-standard editing software known for its exceptional abilities in color correcting and grading footage. It's also a one-off cost of 400 Australian dollars. I do find the interface to be pretty user-friendly, but there are many elements which could seem overwhelming to the beginner. Nevertheless, it's a fantastic option, and a lot of employers are looking for people with skills in this software. It's honestly one which I wish I had the time to learn. Now, you can try any of these editing softwares for free, and DaVinci even has an entirely free version that you can use forever. So what about storing your footage? Well, this actually ties into editing because you'll need a fast and large storage device to work or edit off. You can edit directly off your computer, but depending on its memory and capacity, you'll probably have a slow editing experience as your computer tries to keep up with the very large video files that you're working off. So how do you fix this? You use something called solid-state drives or SSDs. These are extremely fast little devices which you can drop your footage into, plug into your editing software, and work directly from them. These aren't to be confused with hard drives, as these are often a lot slower and should be used primarily for storing footage rather than editing off of. So for example, my workflow looks like this. I get home from a shoot, plug in my SD card to my computer, plug in my SSD, and transfer all the footage from my card across to my SSD. Once that's done, I'll go into my editing software and create a new project directly onto the SSD. Now my footage and my working project file are all in the same place, so I can work quickly and efficiently with no lags. Once I've got all the footage onto the SSD, I'll then make a second copy of the footage onto a hard drive. Remember, these are for storage, just as a backup. The most trusted and highly recommended SSD brands are Samsung and SanDisk. Now just be prepared, these SSDs are not cheap. You can get different storage sizes like 1, 2, and 4 terabytes. In the past, I've gone with 4 because I've always needed the storage space, but now the cost of a 4 terabyte Samsung SSD is almost 1,000 Australian dollars. Yeah, it's insane. The hard drives for storing your footage are thankfully a little bit cheaper, and this is partly to do with the fact that they're not as fast as an SSD. Depending on the storage size, you can get these for between 250 and 500 Australian dollars at the moment. Some reputable hard drive brands are Lacey and Seagate. So there you have it. Those are some options for editing and storing your precious footage. And I know storage isn't cheap, but it is something worth investing into.